Hello, I'm Dr. Daniel Farkas, and I want to speak to you today about Crohn's disease, colitis, and inflammatory bowel disease natural solutions. Now, today I want to talk about a proactive approach to minimizing discomfort, minimizing medication use in conjunction with your prescriber's recommendations, avoiding chronic diarrhea, other problems like fistulas, abscesses, surgeries, and colorectal cancer. Now, the classic Crohn's, colitis, and inflammatory bowel disease treatment is founded in classic just immune system suppression. They use immunosuppressive drugs. The drugs are crucial and oftentimes necessary. And surgery, of course, comes into play in severe cases. Just understand that these are all the reactive approaches. Today, what we want to talk about are the proactive approaches that I have found can help patients no matter where they are, whether they're in remission or if they're in a flare. Understand that all the classic immune system suppression approaches to surgery, they all have side effects or they have direct effects, and I found that patients definitely want to avoid those as much as possible. So when it comes to Crohn's, colitis, and inflammatory bowel disease, the natural help can be summarized into, first of all, searching just for the cause, just looking for the why. Now, I'll have you know that, good news, there is some advanced testing that's available that you may not find in an ordinary medical setting. There's advanced stool testing to assess the reality of what's happening in the gut. There's advanced food testing for IgG food sensitivities and, of course, ordinary IgE food allergies. There is also crucial genetic testing to assess for gene defects that have names like FUT2, NOD2, IL6, TNF-alpha, and more. There are also precision probiotics that are available to keep the gut healthy and happy, and also the critical medical foods that are engineered, which are all natural and in many cases have been found to be a crucial part of ongoing all-natural support and living in remission. Now, right off the bat, I want to talk about advanced stool testing to get an honest look into what is happening in the world of bacteria inside your gut, known as the microbiome. You'll see a lot of names in Latin. A lot of numbers read, some looks good, some looks bad. I want you to understand about bacteria. Of course, we are human, they are not. Trillions and trillions of bacteria live in our gut, they live on our skin, they live everywhere, and they live in partnership with us. Understand that our brain and immune system rely on these bacteria to provide them information about how they should act and behave. Just imagine if there were ordinary, healthy, happy, friendly bacteria living balanced and calm, the brain and immune system would get positive feedback from them, and they would typically be more inclined to stay calmer, if you will. Now imagine overgrown bad bacteria, imbalance, chaos. Those bad bacterial levels, those give poor information to the brain and immune system that unfortunately can often over-respond, go into an overreactive state and end up in just a hyper-responsive, pro-inflammatory, just misery-producing just state of function. By taking an honest look at the balance between healthy good guy bacteria and obnoxious bad troublemaking bacteria, this creates doors and possibilities for help with inflammatory bowel disease that were never there before. Just know that advanced stool testing is available. Also, I always say food will be your best friend or your worst enemy while you're trying to live with inflammatory bowel disease. Know that advanced food testing to assess for inflammation-causing food is available. There are food allergies, known as IgEs. A lot of people are already aware of their allergies. Allergies cause immediate responses. If you're allergic to cats or strawberries or tuna, you know for sure. Right when you're exposed, you have an immediate response. There is something else. Food sensitivities. These are known as IgG responses. And what we're seeing here is an example of a food sensitivity test that shows the foods that irritate the immune system, that have been labeled as foreign invaders. I have found overwhelmingly in my practice that the identification of these foods using a simple home test It's very powerful information to get people some certainty about what bothers their body and what doesn't. And the good news is this: once these foods are identified, if they're removed from the diet for a period of time and the gut is sorted out and the gut is healed, that then many times people are able to eat freely again. And this knowledge is just very powerful moving forward, as food sensitivities can and do pop up just like cavities do, but having mastery of how to assess them and manage yourself is crucial. Now, this is powerful. There's genetic testing and assessment that is available. Genetic tests, they assess for genetic causes and things that drive a disrupted, weak, pro-inflammatory gut. When we look at these things like FUT-2, item number 1, this is an enzyme that it is possible that if a person has a genetic issue with making this enzyme effectively, it makes it so the body can't make enough healthy bacteria's food. Simple as that. Just imagine if your healthy bacteria can't eat enough, they're going to be overrun. Bad information's going to the brain, immune system, and more. NOD2, this is a bacteria sensor that determines good or bad bacteria populations. This type of genetic issue can really add to the problem of inflammatory bowel disease. Knowing that it's present is crucial. As well, items 3 and 4, IL-6 and TNF-alpha, these are genes that can lean someone towards being in a state of inflammation. By having a blueprint of the reality of what is happening inside you, it's very empowering to know with certainty what you need to do moving forward. Genetic testing, it's simple but crucial. Now back to this advanced stool test to assess the reality of the microbiome. Whether you can read it or not, towards the bottom there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 potential autoimmune triggering bacteria that are assessed for. These bacteria, unfortunately, when they overgrow, they can incite the brain and immune system to have a negative response, go into a state of inflammation, and perpetuate autoimmune conditions and local inflammation and systemic inflammation even. These 8 bacteria are just some that are evaluated. Knowing if these are present and overgrown is crucial. Again, why? Because bacteria signal to the brain and immune system about how they should behave. This is just crucial. Mapping is crucial. Just some of the high points of what can be mapped would be good bacteria levels. Crucial. We have to know who our friends are and how they're doing. Bad bacteria populations. We need to know our enemy. If bad bacteria that trigger inflammation are afoot, they must be identified and they must be dealt with. Of course, we need to know if blood's present. That's a sign of inflammatory bowel disease at work. Healthy mucus levels are crucial. Now, we don't typically like mucus. We think it's inconvenient and not very pleasant. But understand that everywhere where mucus is supposed to be, it's supposed to be there, and it's supposed to be at a very healthy supply. Mucus in your nose, throat, and sinuses protect the lungs. We need healthy mucus levels throughout the gut. By measuring those levels, we can see where we need support. To me, this is long-term success. Wheat sensitivities, knowing for sure how your gut really feels about wheat is critical, and that type of information is available with the results of an advanced stool test. Measuring inflammation, crucial too as well. Markers like calprotectin, those can be measured numerous ways. I do like the confirmation from the inflammation levels that show up on advanced stool testing to know for sure what's happening in conjunction with other testing. And then finally, this leaking gut wall. This is so important for autoimmune diseases and just overall health, as well as inflammatory bowel disease. When it comes to leaking gut, or what some people call leaky gut, just understand the inside protective lining of the intestines, that is ground zero, where good or bad things can make their way into the bloodstream that can trigger the immune system, trigger the brain, and cause terrible responses in the gut. By getting an honest evaluation of whether or not this is in place, it creates just so much potential for improvement where there's never been improvement before. Very empowering. Good news, there's natural help available for all these problems I've been describing. There are natural antimicrobials that can kill off the bad, obnoxious bacteria. There are specific probiotics that are deployed to maintain the lining of the wall of the gut and to maintain healthy bacteria levels, and also those crucial, critical medical foods. All these things are available to anybody. Those medical foods, crucial. These are natural substances that are cleared by the FDA for use in supporting conditions like Crohn's and colitis. They're all natural, they're powders, they taste good. And for many people, this becomes their long-term support, and even many cases in conjunction with their prescriber's recommendations. These things can sometimes support and or even replace what some people use for prescription medications, which can be very costly. I hope you're not experiencing what I just mentioned. The cost for inflammatory bowel disease drugs monthly can be very substantial and crippling. Another part of long-term help is this: a natural source of effective prebiotic, which is food for healthy bacteria. There's a substance called 2FL. It's all natural. I think it's the best prebiotic I've come across that helps to maintain healthy bacteria levels, as well as specific probiotics with specific strains such as Bifidobacter, Salivarius, and many others. Remember, healthy beneficial bacteria, they're like the police. They maintain order in the gut. And of course, low inflammatory foods and a low inflammatory lifestyle. Very critical for long-term success, living in remission and enjoying life. So what does success look like to you? Maybe it includes a normalized bowel pattern that you can predict, less drugs or even no drugs, longer states of remission, a return to normal activities, and finally, peace of mind. I want to talk about 2 case studies. One was Aaron, age 39, a male. He appeared to be in excellent physical shape. He looked like he was 18 years old. He was extremely fit. He ate clean, but he was still frustrated and concerned about flares and inflammation. Aaron was very concerned about avoiding medications. He really wanted to maintain living naturally, and he had stated that he just wanted some answers about the cause of his issues. So the tests that were ordered, genetics, advanced food test, and advanced stool test. And the food and stool test, those were tests that were done at home. Those are home tests. The genetics test was done at home too as well. Yeah, I remember he said he liked that. His findings, he had massive bacteria imbalance, severe leaky gut issues, severe food sensitivities, gene issues, and more. The support we provided was avoiding his food sensitivities while we used stair-step probiotics and precise medical foods. His results, he started showing improvement in his comfort and function within about 4 days of beginning his program. And after 8 weeks, we both saw a completely new and improved Aaron, as if he couldn't get any healthier than how he looked in the beginning. Now he'd stated that he sleeps better, exercises harder than ever, and has a perfectly functioning bowel pattern that he's able to predict, and he's able to eat what he wants within reason. And in his words, he has sincere peace of mind. Another study, Kayla, she's also 39. Kayla had the fatigue bad, severe fatigue that was preventing her from carrying out even basic daily activities. She was just completely exhausted all the time. She was concerned for herself as well as for a young family. She had a family concern about colorectal cancer, and we ordered the advanced stool test. The results, she did have serious bacterial imbalance in her gut, blood in her stool, and more. Her support was simple: stair-step probiotics, medical foods. And her results, Kayla, she made faster than usual progress over approximately 8 weeks. She was quickly able to regain her energy and her ability to care for her 9-year-old and her husband as well as herself. She just stopped laying in bed all the time, got her life back, and got back to her real life. So I'm Dr. Daniel Farkas. I'm glad you joined me. I say a little science can create a lot of health. I always say, don't guess, do a test. Just know that there are resources available for you no matter where you are. I always say, contact me. No matter where you live, we will find help for you locally. You can find me at Back to Health Natural Solutions. I hope this information resonates with you. I hope you take it to heart, and I hope your health improves and goes in the directions that you have chosen for yourself. Know that you have power. You can choose. You can get outside the box. You can choose the direction of your health when it comes to inflammatory bowel disease.